everybody, Betty McIntyre here, your Director of Public Policy and Community Relations with the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. I'm super excited to talk with you all today and provide you the first legislative update for 2021. Well, the 55th legislative session is officially begun. And it is a session like no other so far. But what else can you expect? 2021 has essentially been 2020. So I expect hopefully us to, get through this a little bit easier than we did in 2020. But what does this all mean for the legislative session? Well, both the House and the Senate have implemented CDC rules to help mitigate the spread of the coronavirus down at the Capitol. So they're committed to ensuring the safety not only of the public, but of the members and the staff at both the House and the Senate. So what is that going to look like for actual legislative processes? Well, part of this is they are limiting the number of individuals allowed in the building. They are requiring masks to be worn if you're in the building, and that also applies to members. They are also creating a hybrid system for the actual engagement of the legislative process. So what's this hybrid model looking like? Well, so far, what it's looking like is some members are physically present in the committee hearings and on the House floor or the Senate floor. And some members are joining the committee and the floor session via Zoom. And so you kind of have both things happening at the same time. So it's been quite interesting to watch and look and kind of see how this hybrid model is going to work. Now, for committee hearings, when public testimony is allowed, still happening, what is happening there is that the public is then given a separate Zoom link, and then they sign into that to then provide their public testimony. So as the public policy director, I've been kind of looking at this, watching it, seeing how this is going to look, not only just for me to go and advocate for the community, but how is this going to work from an accessibility standpoint? So when I'm watching, I'm looking, okay, how can we include an interpreter into this? How can we include a cart provider or any captioning system into the platform as this is being streamed live from the from the actual legislature? So we've been working with both the Senate and House staff on asking and figuring out these technical questions as we speak. We've been sending lots of emails, having lots of phone calls, and asking these questions. So what does this look like if you have a member who wants to sign in to testify and they are deaf? How are we going to provide an interpreter for someone who is requesting to watch a hearing for the captionings? So one of the things that we're still trying to figure out, not just only the accessibility piece, but they're trying to figure out all of it right now. It is something that's very different, and legislators across the country are trying to figure this out. So it'll be interesting to see how we go through the legislative session, how we're going to work through all these technical nuances to not only ensure the public has access, but all of the public, including the deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind community, can actively engage the legislative process. So stay tuned on that model. So now let's talk about the fun stuff. What are we looking at in this legislative session? What bills can we expect? Is it going to get crazy and shut down a little bit early because the numbers are going through the roof right now with COVID? Well, we don't know. What I can tell you is we are, ACDHH, are going to be running the same bill that we ran last year, Senate Bill 1056. That's going to be a redo this year. But this year it has a new number, Senate Bill 1092, and a new sponsor, Senator Pace from LD 25, which is in the East Valley. So as a reminder, just in case we forgot, because we all have COVID brain, Senate Bill 1092 allows the commission to include deafblind to our statutory duties and responsibilities, as well as includes directs the commission to provide legislative recommendations related to language acquisition and literacy assessment for deaf, hard of hearing children and infants and newborns. So we anticipate that bill to go through the legislative process fairly quickly. We don't anticipate any controversy around this, just like last year with smooth sailing, being able to explain. We're just adding to our statutory duties. We need to look at this, we need to assess it, and we need to provide language that works for everybody as it relates to the ongoing needs of deaf and hard of hearing children in the state. Now that's our bill, but there's going to be lots of other bills that are going to be dropped this year that we're going to be looking at as they have the impact on deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind communities in the state. So a couple of things we're looking out for is telemedicine. We anticipate that to become permanent in our state since the governor issued the executive orders related to telemedicine because of the pandemic. So one of those are going to be the things that we're going to be continuing to monitor and provide input and education on. In addition, we're going to be looking at any other kind of language and legislation that may have an impact on the communities. At this point, there hasn't been a lot of bills that have been dropped, so I don't know if we're going to anticipate as many pieces of legislation getting through the system this year, and that may just be because of the COVID crisis. This is a really different process, and so everyone, like I said earlier, is trying to kind of navigate it and figure it all out. But at the end of the day, we will figure it out. We'll be flexible, we'll be patient, and we'll let you know if there is anything that we think that is going to have either a positive or a negative impact on the quality of life of the deaf and the hard of hearing and deafblind community. We'll let you know. And if you ever want to, ask a question about the process, or you want to meet a member of your legislature, give us a call, email us at info@acdhh.az.gov. And I'd be more than happy to schedule a meeting with you and your legislature, your legislative member, and we'll make it happen because this democracy belongs to you. And you have the right to engage and be a part of this because anything that goes down at that Capitol has an impact on every citizen in the state. So I'm looking forward to this legislative session. I'm looking forward to the weirdness. I'm looking forward to figuring out how I can best represent the commission and the deaf and the hard of hearing community in this virtual environment. So stay tuned, and we'll continue to provide you updates and information on what's happening at the Capitol. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.